Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It is November. I am on the countdown to Christmas, a little bit Christmas obsessed. Anyway, before I start my Christmas DIYs, I really wanted to make this mirror. I've been wanting to do it for a while. So here it is. I hope you absolutely love it as much as I do. And I'm just going to show you now how I made it. So if you'd like to know how I made this absolutely gorgeous mirror, from the Poundland, by the way. This mirror is Poundland. You can't go wrong. Keep watching. So everything I've used for this mirror DIY is right here. I've got my Poundland platter there, which obviously, guys, £1. Can't beat that. I've got my sticks here. So this is what I've used to create that starburst. I actually got these from Wilko's, and tragically, they have discontinued them. So I'm guessing garden centres online. So they are my garden label sticks. I've also got some miniature garden label sticks for the gold. And I've got my glue. I'm using No More Nails here, but you can use any glue you want. I've got my stain, and I've got some twine rope thing that I got from the craft store. So I think that was Hobbycraft I got that from. It might have even been B&Q home store. You'll also need some foam board that's going to be your backing, and just to create the circle on the foam, I'm just going easy. I've just got a plate and a smaller plate just to help me draw that circle and get it right. So yeah, this is everything you will need for this DIY. So the first step to making this mirror is to stain the wood. This is the longest job. If you want a bohemian, organic, natural vibe, don't stain your wood, but I don't, so I'm going to stain it. I'm going to use the same stain I used for my kitchen dining table. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. I'm using dark oak and walnut. I didn't like the oak on its own, it was too orange, so I added a bit of the darker walnut to it. So I'm going to mix it up and see how it comes out, and then I'm going to stain each and every one of these. So you just need an old rag that you're not emotionally attached to. Probably won't ever be able to clean it. So that's all you need. So let's get staining. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of each of the stain into my jug, starting with the oak and also finishing it with the walnut. You know, I'm not even really going to test how this turns out. I'm just going to stir it and use it. So I'm going to use my knife to stir that. Lovely jubbly. And then I'm going to take my rag, my flannel, and I'm going to just dip it into the stain and rub each piece of wood, and then rub it off with the other side of the flannel. You might want to wear gloves when you're doing this. I tend not to. It's just easier to access when you're just using your hands. And by the looks of this, it might even need 2 coats of the stain, or I'll just leave it on a bit longer before I rub it off. So you really want to go ahead and do all of your wood, and we'll come back when that's all done. Here's the first layer, the first coat of the stain on these pieces. I love how each piece has taken on the stain differently. You can see how different it is to the original pieces of bamboo. But I am going to go ahead with a second coat. Because it took so long, it's not about wanting to do things fast, for anyone who's wondering. It's not that I want to do it fast, I just want to find the best method to do it all. So I've laid them out all, yes, I'm wearing gloves, it got super messy. I've laid them out all over my plastic sheet, and I'm just going to go in with a paintbrush and paint all of them again with a second coat. And then what I'm doing is picking them up individually and rubbing that off with a cloth. So it just saves so much time. When I first started doing it, I was doing them individually way too long. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead now with the second coat and do that. So that is it, that is the second coat. I absolutely love it. I'm so glad I put the second coat on. Much quicker doing it that way. The next step, while this is drying, I'm gonna go outside with these smaller, actually these are barbecue skewers stroke garden sticks that I got from eBay. I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna spray these gold. So that's pretty much everything dry. So you want to go ahead and make the base for your mirror. So I've put my mirror down on the table just to work out roughly how big it is. But I want to leave some gap around the edge to stick the sticks onto. So for that, I'm going to draw around just a standard dinner plate. You guys can just use anything you want. So bringing it into the corner, to waste less of the foam, bring it into the corner of your foam, draw around your dinner plate. That's lovely. So you now know when you put your mirror on, you've got this gap here to stick your sticks onto, or just bring it in a bit more than that. Then I'm going to go ahead with a smaller plate in the middle and hope that it's centre. Does that look central to you guys? Looks central to me. So I'm going to go ahead and draw around that one as well. That gives me almost like, I guess, an inner circle. I don't really want to stick my sticks any further than that inner circle. So when I put my mirror on, it's still going to have, you know, enough behind it. So you want to go ahead and cut that out. So that's my circle cut out. Now, if you want your sticks completely symmetrical, I do at the beginning, I want to make sure that they are equally, you know, north, south, east and west. I've just cut a piece of paper the same size as the plate and I've folded it twice to get the center point. So I'm going to line those up together and just use anything you have, a sharp point or a pen. I'm using a pen just to get that center. So I now know this is my center, and to make sure that you are getting those points, I'm going to mark where the folds are to get my north, south, east, west lines. Then I'm going to use a ruler to draw those lines in. So that's everything dry, the sticks are dry, the copper sticks are dry, the copper sticks are dry, so it's time to go ahead and assemble it any way you want it. This is the bit that's making me nervous because, you know, never made one before, so I'm going to put some of my glue. I bought some No More Nails glue. I'm going to put a bit of that on the end of each stick, just a bit. I don't believe I'm going to need much, to be honest. On the end of each stick, and I'm going to place it where those lines are. So you want to go ahead around the whole circle and do that with your sticks. So that's the first layer of those sticks put onto the foam. So now I'm going to go ahead and put a stick in between each of those sticks so that we can't see the white foam board sticking out underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just do exactly what you were doing before. I'm just not going to show the process because I don't want to bore you guys. So yeah, we'll come back when that's done. Okay, so that is the second layer of sticks on. I brought the second layer out a little bit so that, you know, you've got ones that are further out than the other ones. Other than that, you know, it's worked out okay. The beautiful thing about using No More Nails is that it doesn't dry immediately. So that allows you to go around and just wiggle these to make sure that you are evenly spaced if you want them to be as evenly spaced as I do. So yeah, that's the lovely thing about this. If you use hot glue, they are set for life. You can't really wiggle them. So give yourself a little bit of wiggle room. So the next step now is to just reinforce this. I want this to be on the wall, and I want it to be on the wall for a long period of time. So I'm going to go in here in the inside where it won't be seen with just additional No More Nails, maybe just a little bit of hot glue as well. Make sure this never moves. So that's the next step. Alright, so this is the bit that's driving me a bit crazy. I've had a play around. I've got equal space. I've got 32 smaller underneath sticks, and I've decided to put the copper sticks on the underneath sticks, if that makes sense, because they're overlapping. So I'm going to put copper sticks each and under every other one. Oh my gosh, I'm not even making sense. Every other one I'm putting the copper sticks. So this is the fiddliest part for the whole project, I think. I'm going to hot glue these guys. So the tiniest smidgen of hot glue across the whole stick, but you have to work fast and throw things on the floor because this dries super fast. So once you've stuck it in, you want to make sure it's completely solid. And then, yeah, I'm going to work around and do those. So that is it, completely dry, completely done. I can lift it off the table and I'm confident they're not going to fly off. So the last 2 steps is to put the mirror on into the center. And as much as I love that on its own, you can see the mess underneath. So we're going to use the rope. So the first thing is to put the glue onto your mirror. I'm going to put dollops around on the mirror, not on the wood, so that at least wherever the mirror falls, it will catch. So I'm going to put dollops around the edge. I'm not going to worry about the middle. The middle won't be touching anything. Last little bit. Then I'm going to hope that I get it in the center. And this is the bit where you just have to kind of play it by ear really to get it in the center of your whole design. You can, if you wanted to, at this point, get a ruler just to roughly have a look, you know, is it roughly central? So 23, 20, no, nowhere near central. But have a wiggle. That's the best thing about this glue, is you can have a wiggle for a while and it won't set. So you can play around, making sure that it's pretty much central. I don't want to get too completely caught up on the fact that it should be central, but you know, that's 22, 22, roughly 22 and 22 and a half. So maybe just that way a little bit. So that I'm going to leave it. That's enough. I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave it. You can see all the rough glue around the edges. So the last thing to do really here is to wrap the twine around that mirror. Hopefully that will stay put. So this is the twine. I'm going to use hot glue for this. I'm just going to make that edge nice and neat. So start your hot glue anywhere. There's no rules on this. So that was the last bit of rope put on. I put the last bit on top of the mirror because I felt like I could see the raw edge of the mirror and I didn't really like it, and I was a bit worried it might, I don't know, crack or get caught. So that's the last bit of rope on the mirror, and that is it done. And here is the finished product. I absolutely love it. I am so proud of this one. There are so many different variations. You know, once you've got that Poundland tray, that Poundland mirror, I guess, you can just, you know, the world is your oyster. Go for it. I absolutely love this. It's huge, way bigger than I expected it to turn out, but I absolutely love it in this space. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and thanks again to all of my new subscribers.